Hello there, it's Sarah from Paper Lovely. Thanks for joining me today. I have got a quick tutorial video for you, and I'm going to be using the We Are Memory Keepers goodie bag or scalloped goodie bag die. I picked this up at Tuesday morning a little while ago, and it is one of the giveaways that is going out to the grand prize winner, so I thought now would be a great time to get this posted. I'm using several different types of paper. So here I'm giving you a look at the guide, and this first paper that I'm using is actually made to go along with the goodie bag. So this is a Glassine paper, has sort of a waxy type of back to it, and it does tear pretty easily. I found the best way using this was to actually tear from each side and then work my way into the middle. So what I'm doing here is I'm lining up my paper, making sure that's nice and straight on my mat, and then you'll see on the left and right there are 12-inch guides. So the first tear at the top of the bag, I'm going to line up the line on the left-hand side along the edge of the paper. And then when I flip it over, I'm going to use the line on the right-hand side of the paper. That way there's one edge that's just slightly longer than the other, and this way they line up perfectly. And that's going to come into play here when you use the back side of it to score the sides that are going to fold over to create the bag. So I'm going to have the darker edge at the bottom of mine, so I'm also going to go ahead and score the bottom. And then I'll crease these down and fold up the bottom, and that's going to create my goodie bag. So I'm just going to add a little ATG just on the longer side of the two. And I'll place that over. And then I will add a little along the bottom here and fold that up. And that will complete my goodie bag. So as you can see, it's really quick and really simple. It doesn't always tear perfectly, but you can go back and sort of pull at that scallop or trim it if you need to. For the most part, I think it works really well. I'm going to do that one more time with the same piece of Glassine type paper, and then I'll try two other types of paper just to show you how those work. So again, I'm lining up the left-hand side line along the edge of my paper to do the top section. And then I'll tear from each side, slowly working my way into the middle. And then I'll flip this over, and I'm just keeping my paper lined up with the lines on the grid of my mat. And now this time I'll line up my guide with the right-hand side line along the edge of the paper. It's not a huge difference, it's maybe 1/8 of an inch, but it does make a difference when you fold over those sides. So again, I'll go ahead and just deal with those little edges hanging off on the scallops, and then I'll flip this over and I'll score each side. And then the bottom. And I'll add some ATG on the longer side of the back. Place that down. And then add some along the bottom and fold that up. And there is my finished goodie bag. So here I wanted to try this out on some regular double-sided pattern paper, and I think this was the most difficult just because it was the thickest of what I used, but it still works. So, you know, like I said before, if there's one that doesn't tear quite right, you can always trim it with your scissors. Sometimes you can go back, and if it's large enough that you can grab it with your fingers, you can sort of get that scallop to tear for you. And I'm just using the same process here. And then here I'm going to give you a look. When you're using the double-sided pattern paper, I've noticed that the side that is against the mat, so the opposite side of what you're looking at, has a nicer edge. So there I was just showing you, since I tore here on the wooden pattern paper, you can kind of see a white edge, whereas on the blue side, because it's pulled toward what's going to be the inside of the bag now, you see a little bit of that white. So just keep that in mind if you want to use double-sided paper to make sure that the side you want to be the outside of your bag is actually facing away from you when you tear along the guide. And I'll finish this up exactly the same way, adding just a strip of ATG there, folding it over, then adding some along the bottom and folding it up. So next I'm going to try some wrapping paper. Here I'm showing you, this is not exactly your regular wrapping paper. It's mineral sort of paper, and it does have a little bit of a plasticky feel to it. I think this worked the best. Even I liked it better than the Glassine papers. It just seemed to tear better, and I think it's because it's the thinnest of what I used. So I think that a regular thin, completely paper wrapping paper would work really great as well. But again, I'm just following the same instructions here, tearing from either side, working my way into the middle. I thought this got a really great scalloped edge, the best of all of the different kinds that I tried. And again, I'll go ahead and score the edges. Add some ATG and fold that over. And then I'll score the bottom, add some ATG and fold it up. So here are all my finished goodie bags. I made these 4 in about 15 minutes, so it was really quick and easy. And I would totally recommend it if you're someone who wants to be able to make a goodie bag out of your own pattern paper. I know that was pretty quick. If you have any questions, just let me know below. Make sure you do leave me a comment so you can be entered in the March Madness giveaway. And I will see you tomorrow for our final March Madness video.